Welcome to the CU Scoop. I'm your host, Philip Dukes, aka Dukes the Scoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes the Scoop. And please be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button. Um, if you want to become a member, if you want to support the channel, look in the description link. You'll see a link after the description. You'll see a link there. You can go become a member of varying degrees of membership. And yeah, just to support so I can continue to bring you guys content. Now, for everybody who may be new here, everybody who's already been here, you do know this is just me talking, a breakdown. You're not going to see a ton of graphics. I want to forewarn you that should be coming soon, but I just want to forewarn you, like, hey, just going to be me talking like we in the barbershop, like we at the bar, just kicking it, and sharing some good information. All right, so Shedeur Sanders wraps up his rookie minicamp. We all know about where he was drafted. I think everybody's talked about that he was drafted in the slot way lower than he should have been. I always said I thought that second round would probably be the latest you should see him go. And like we said before, like third round was like, fourth round was like what, and fifth round was just like, all right, bro, y'all tripping. But I think the most important thing that we saw in rookie minicamp was Shedur's attitude. I mean, when you talk about being a team player, when you talk about someone who was basically, they basically said the dude was too arrogant. They called him an a-hole without calling him one in multiple media sites. And for someone to endear himself, to the rookies, fellow rookies who don't have the media presence that he has, who don't have the support that he has nationally in the social media currency. I think for him just being one of the guys, I think was really important and one of the first tests that he passed. Let's talk about the mental game outside of what he actually was able to do on the field. The way he handled the number situation, not getting two, it was a non-factor, a non-issue. But he made it a non-factor. He made it a non-issue. There's an army of supporters that he has that were infuriated. But Shedeur basically was like, bro, 12 is the best number for me. Cool. No issue. So, and I think these are the things. There's something else that I saw that goes in line with this that I want to talk about. The non-issue of the jersey number. And there's a picture of Shadur with Quinshon Judkins and my man from Sampson from Tennessee. And they're kind of goading him into making the do his celebration in the picture. Shadur's like, nah. The maturity to know, the cognizance to know, right, it's probably not the best time. They already tripping. Nah, it ain't time for that. Genius move by Shadur. When people are saying, hey man, do it for us. And he's like, man, you know what? No, I'm here with you guys. We're gonna take the pictures, we're gonna do everything. But it ain't time for that. I said, all right, Shadur got this. And you knew Shadur was gonna have it. But it just really goes to take it basically just kind of shoots a hole in the theory of the narrative that Shadur is a me first player only. Now, very small sample size for the naysayers, of course. It's just rookie minicamp. I get it. But I think these are small and subtle details that allow you to become, for someone who has a celebrity, like you got to think about it. The biggest story in the NFL over the past month has been Shedeur Sanders, period. The biggest story in the entire league, not the rookie class, not the draft, not, we're talking about nothing has been talked about more in football in the past month than Shedeur Sanders. So for him to have the celebrity that comes along with him, I saw an article that talked about him having 2-point-something million followers as a fifth round pick, which is insane. But for him to go in and show who he is, that he's a team first guy, I thought that was absolutely incredible. And I think that'll go a long way as far as endearing himself to his teammates. All right, I want to talk about, so Shadur had an interview with the lead media guy for the senior media broadcaster for Cleveland, Nathan Zagura. Shout out to Nathan. Where Sanders spoke about his first few days as a Cleveland Brown and what he plans on bringing to the team. He said, I'm ready to do big things, accomplish a lot of great things, and be a great teammate. Team first, once again. That's what you continue to hear. The excitement is there. You can see, where the Browns' social media staff, where they're, place it where they got their ducks and where they are investing their time in Shadur. Um, I think they asked him, and this is another quote he gave to Nathan. He said, he wants to I want to establish myself first in the locker room, first around the building, have everybody understand me, and just create great dialogue between everybody and be a good teammate, honestly. So Nathan Zagura goes on to ask, what does it mean to understand you? This is what he's asking Shadur. Shadur says, what I'm speaking on is understand I work hard and I love the game of football. That's all you really need to know. And I'm not disrespectful. I don't have off the field problems. So, you know, those are the main three things that equal success. Loving the game, respecting the game because he's not disrespectful, and also respecting the game by staying out of trouble off the field. Those are three things that he says with confidence. So even the way he's handling himself in the media, man, you gotta you gotta give him credit. So I think where the football was what caused him the draft was what got him pushed down in the draft. Somebody, when I say he fell in the draft, people say, nah, he didn't fall, he got pushed. I say pushed because the fifth round is just crazy. Man, there I could have made a case for second round. Not saying he's a second round talent, but we've seen guys fall before. Um, he should have been a first rounder, but second round you could be like, all right, it wasn't fair, but fifth round was just crazy. Like it was just crazy. So basically based off the fact of what people were saying about him off the field, for him to go out and show that everything that he showed as far as being a teammate, loving the game. Because we got to talk about this, right? In football now, the worst thing that you can have on your resume as a ball player is for someone to say you don't love the game. He don't love it. He don't love he don't love ball. That's the worst thing you can get on you as a football player. So what Shedeur has done is he effectively went and challenged that notion with his actions, with his words, and even endearing himself to teammates. All right. So we can talk about let's talk about football. Hold on, I got one more good quote from that interview. Um, so they said he was smiling a lot during the conversation. To go check that out. It says Shedeur seems to be content. And then as Nathan Zagura talked about the former buff star accuracy and fit with the Browns coaching staff, Shedeur says, I feel like God won't put me in a situation I'm not ready for, and that's not ready for me. So that's why I'm thankful for the city of Cleveland embracing me how they have been. Being able to go and see the kids just working out, they're running with me, clapping for me. And when I get done working out and stuff, it's real cool. It's real exciting. The city really embraced me a lot. And I'm just excited to be here. Man. So if you get a chance, go check that interview out. But I did want to just kind of bring some of that to the forefront about. I know everybody's going to talk about the throws that he made. Everybody's going to talk about the quarterback competition. But I think you had to win off the field in the locker room first for if Shedeur to be a viable candidate to start. So I think he did first pass that one flying colors. Pass the first test flying colors. All right, let's talk about on the field. Shedeur got better as he had a good first day, but Shedeur continued to get better as minicamp went on. His best throw attempt, arguably, was the deep ball that he threw on Sunday. What I like about Shedeur, what I saw in the very minimal clips that we saw, is how comfortable he looked under center, how comfortable he looked in pro style. His footwork. I saw a clip where coach was telling him, "Hey man, you gotta be more urgent when you climb the pocket and step up." And those are some things that he's going to put together now. He'll learn. but I would say him being comfortable under center was huge. The trademark deep ball accuracy. That's what you continue to see. We saw the back shoulder throw on Thursday to the tight end. That was in I think that was a tight end. But that back shoulder throw on on Saturday, Saturday on the second day of minicamp, amazing. Um, and you saw why people thought he was a first round pick. Why he probably should have been drafted in the first round. Not to take anything away from Dylan Gabriel, I think that's going to be a good competition. I think they both had some strong points. And what we got to realize is people are going to sensationalize. What we don't want to do is to fall in the same trap that we saw people who were literally hating in the smear campaigns that went on about the Colorado players in the past couple of years. You don't want to fall into that same trap of overvaluing something or devaluing something. What I mean is, they really scrutinized every single thing Shadur did that may not have been favorable. So, with that being said, you also want to temper your expectations based on rookie minicamp, so you don't get too high or too low. And I think what Shedeur showed everyone is he's gonna be even kill. I think that's the one thing that made Shedeur who he was, and the Tom Brady comparisons were how he performed under pressure by not getting too high, not getting too low. Games going wrong, games going bad. He's not, acting like a punk kid or anything. Shedeur, that's why they call him grown. His nickname is grown. So for him to have that maturity, I think we got to exhibit that same maturity as far as if you're a fan of Colorado, you or the fan of Shadur and the Sanders family, you have to exhibit that same maturity when it comes to looking at what he's done and not getting too high or getting too low. But I will say this: you don't have to be a fan of Shadur or the Sanders family. You don't have to be a fan to respect the effort that he put in and to keep, as much as scrutiny as he is under. You don't have to be a fan to respect the job he did as far as endearing himself to his teammates this weekend. But yeah, he did get stronger from everything that I saw. You had two main reports that came out um, about of reporters willing to go on record to say how he performed. The one guy who went on Cleveland radio, I think his name was Grossi. Let me find his name right quick. What was his name? Hold on, I think I got it right here. Sorry, guys, I had to remember my guy's name. I should have took a note. Yeah, Tony Grossi of ESPN Cleveland said, I thought both days Dylan Gabriel looked a little bit better. He throws, mind you, got some qualifying words in here. So I thought both days Dylan Gabriel looked a little bit better. He throws a tight spiral. He throws a beautiful ball. He's very assertive. He knows the pocket. You can tell even though they're not rushing, he just has a pocket presence. That's that's what he had to say about Gabriel, but he said he looked a little bit better. That's his opinion. So respect to Tony Grossi for his opinion, but there didn't seem to be a huge difference, even in his eyes. There didn't seem to be a huge difference. So when you talk about, there's another report. Um, One report came out. LaShawn McCoy said his sources say that Shadur was pointedly better than Gabriel, and that he was the best player in rookie minicamp as a whole. I can see that. I can see, I can see someone grossly having his opinion, and that's your opinion. And McCoy said he has the opinion of multiple people in Cleveland's camp that have said that Shadur is the best player there. Um, I think there was another report. My man from the Athletic. I'm gonna see if I can find it right quick. Let me pull this up for us right quick. Shadur. All right, so Shady was the second one that came out. And Okay, we'll bring okay, boom, found it. All right. So Zach Jackson, who covers Cleveland for The Athletic, attended Cleveland's 2 open minicamp practices and said that Brown's 5th-round pick out of Colorado threw the ball better. But both guys are saying but he says in just throwing the ball is not close. Shedeur Sanders, Zach Jackson said on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. He said, but let me counter that by saying this is rookie minicamp. No pass, no full speed competition. Nobody's coming to tear your head off. All right, so you've got dueling reports, but right now, as far as people going on record, you've got um, 2 sources that are fairly pretty I mean, it's hard to get a lot more credible than those 2. And one that says that they thought Gabriel was a little bit better, but the 2, this is the difference. The 2 that said that Shadur was better, they said it's not even close. The one that said Gabriel was better said it was close, but he thought Gabriel was a little bit better. All that being said, is saying to me that Shadur went out there and did what he had to do, because nobody could come out there and say he stunk it up. Nobody could come out there and say he looked like a 5th-round pick, and I think that's very important. Another thing that I think when we just talk about the off-field stuff that Shadur was able to pull off at rookie minicamp would be him staying after the last man off the field. First man, those are the things that get you there. The last man on the field, staying after, getting that extra work. You're not going to see any entitlement. The things that people said about him, you will not see. He's already showing it. So they go to, and I think now as he gets prepares for veteran camp, he'll be there. But yeah, man, really, Shadur did everything you could possibly ask for from a 5th-round pick. That's the Shadur. I mean, really, and this is the crazy part. If we didn't know Shadur was a 5th-rounder, would you think he was? Not at all. The Browns got to steal. That's just, they shoot, man. I mean, they basically bought a Ferrari at the price of a Honda Civic. No disrespect to the Honda Civics out there, but that's basically what happened. They got a Ferrari at the price of a Civic, and I think, but see, and this is the difference. Even though you got them at that price, that doesn't mean the Ferrari is going to drive any different. You're still going to see Shadur be the same person. You're still going to be Shadur. And the good thing, and I talked to Coach Prime about it. The one thing about it is they are locked in on football. That whole camp, that whole family, everybody's locked in on football because it's very rare that you could have a quarterback take that type of slide and not be affected financially. You got people, that'll be like, "Oh my goodness, that was my chance. I can't believe I blew my chance. I can't believe I missed out on this money." So they ain't worried about it. It just is what it is, man. So as far as like what happened on the field, I think it's been you saw the first, you saw the first day. They said no, they got Dylan Gabriel with the interception. Then they got one where they said, what's my man? They said Shadur skipped the ball into the flats. I mean, but when you saw the highlights, I think they both had good throws. I just think that for where it is now, there was nothing more that Shedeur Sanders could have done to endear himself off the field, which is the main thing that I thought that he was going to have to do is go in and be and show people who he is, which was the easiest thing to do for him. Go be yourself. And I think Buff Nation realized that's what was going to happen. That's what did happen. And right now, shoot, man, you knew what Shedeur was going to be able to do with elite ball placement on deep balls. That the verticality. Shedeur was going to put the ball on the money. So after rookie minicamp, I think this is probably going to be the story of the NFL offseason. And buckle up. It's going to be an exciting ride. And we'll get to more Colorado players as well. But I did want to just go and do the Shadur recap. But there's not a whole lot you could tell on the field. All you can do is show people that you aren't ready. It's hard to win a job in minicamp, but you can damn sure go in there and about lose it, or let people know that you aren't ready, or let people know that you aren't that. Shadur did none of that, and what he did even more so than that was that he's begun to win over the locker room. He's begun to endear himself, and I think that is the most important thing that you probably could have asked for out of rookie minicamp from a quarterback who has the stature of a Shedeur Sanders. All right, that's my time, folks, man. I appreciate the talk. If you got anything else you want to talk about, drop it in the comments. And as always, man, I appreciate it. And if we don't say nothing else when it comes to the fam, take care of yourself and make sure you make it home to the people that love you. All right, I'm out.